So these things are on wing for a long, long time, and it's a huge investment up front. So we compete globally. We love competition because we find it makes us better. If you're competing, we find that you actually hone your skills better and you end up with much better products for your customers.
I understand from my research that for you to understand the market, you have traveled all around China.
Yeah.
So let's shift from aviation and look into the healthcare sector.
Yeah.
Where have you been to research healthcare?
Right. Well, healthcare is another important business we do here. We make, I hope you never have to go to hospital, but if you did, probably one of the devices you use, whether it's an ultrasound or CT scanner or MRI machine, is one of ours, actually. So that's what we do. We have about 26,000 devices already in China, so it's a big market. Wow. That market is kind of almost two-tiered in some ways. In China, the big hospitals, particularly in Beijing, Shanghai, they want all the best in the world, the best technology, the high-end technology. But there's another market, which is the developing market in China in what we call primary care. And that's all the other hospitals. So I actually spent some time when I first came here understanding that. I'd go out to cities and go to the local hospitals. And by doing that, you get a much better feel of actually what they need. And part of the investment we made here was actually putting what we call an innovation center in a place called Chengdu. And that's focused on primary care. So they're understanding what the local hospitals need, what's important to them. So you're not just bringing something from the United States or Europe and saying, well, sorry, that's what we have.
It's going to work here, yeah.
You really understand the nuances of the local market, and you try and bring things down to where it's more affordable, it's more accessible, and it's something that they can use.
For example?
A good example is we invested a few years ago in something called In China for China investments. So this is, in fact, I'm given a pool of money every year by my chairman to invest in local products.
Was this from 2010 to the present?
We've actually
$2 billion US dollars?
Yeah, no, that was part of the investment we've made here. But I know it's an ongoing process, and it's partly investing in products which we need for the Chinese market. But actually, kind of interesting, we found that a lot of these products actually sell overseas. So actually, it's kind of morphed into more in China, but for the rest of the world.
Yes.
Let me give you one example. Okay. We have it's called a Brevo CT scanner. It was something which our team in Wuxi, we have our healthcare team based in Wuxi there, they worked with our experts around the world. And they designed a CT scanner which had a smaller kind of space. It was more adaptable to the local Chinese market. And also because of the costs we're able to take out of it, it was more price competitive. So those hospitals using it for the first time.
Like smaller hospitals and
smaller as they kind of evolve into, getting more equipment. A lot of these hospitals in China, they're getting equipment for the first time. So, and we found it sold very well here, but actually probably more importantly, there was these markets overseas where it sold extremely well too. And it made us realize that investment in China is important because you've got a big market here, but you can make it scalable by going global. Right. So we don't do anything now where we don't invest in something which is scalable globally.
On May 30th, 2012, GE inaugurated the China Innovation Center in Chengdu, the company's first facility worldwide purposefully designed for customer innovation.
So why did we pick Chengdu? Well, this is part of our strategy to make sure we go west. The idea here is to really connect with the customers, to co-create with the customers, to really focus on what's important for China, particularly as it relates to China's 12th five-year plan.
GE has spent more than $80 million US to build, equip, and staff this brainstorming hub in Chengdu. And in July of the same year, GE opened another innovation center in China's ancient city of Xi'an.
Is that why you chose places like Chengdu and Xi'an also to find a more localized approach?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think China, you can't just, if you just come to Shanghai, Beijing, you don't get a view of China. You've really got to get out into the West. And, we've increasingly pushed, our resources out west as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, Shanghai, Beijing will always be important.
And they will benefit from the innovation that's done in the second, third tier cities.
But actually being out in the west of China is important, understanding the customer needs there.
Tell me about the research center then, in Chengdu, also in Xi'an. Is it filled with a whole bunch of scientists who are, I have this image of them in laboratories doing little experiments, or who is there? Who's working there? What type of innovators?
Yeah. We have two innovation centers now, as you mentioned, Chengdu and Xi'an. The one in Chengdu is focused on